Right, hello again. Now, today I thought we'd look at splitting axes. I've gathered up every axe I can lay my hands on. They're all different shapes and sizes, and I thought it would be really interesting to look at them. Because while every single one of these has split wood, it doesn't mean it should have. Axes are designed for all sorts of different things. So rather than accept a compromise or just use any old axe that's in your shed, let's have a look at what you really need for a splitting axe. Now, I think there are 4 factors. The first is the axe. Choose the axe carefully. The second is you. Are you big and strong or smaller or whatever? But what are you like? Third is your technique. Do you whip that axe like a bullet? You know, really smashing the log at high speed, or do you want a heavy old axe that you more or less drop? And lastly is your logs. Have you got dead easy to split, birch or pine or something, or have you got something really difficult like knotty maple or oak or something? Anyway, they're the 4 things. Let's start with axes. Okay, so when we're talking about an axe, let's have a look at this one as a good example. Here, we've probably got about a 4-pound head, so that's the head weight. We've got reasonably sharp edge, we can talk about that. We've got a handle length, I don't know, just medium. This is a typical sort of bushcraft axe, but the really important thing is that profile. That profile is for cutting, it's not for splitting. So this axe should have a razor sharp edge, and then it's used for cutting wood, either putting the dip cut in to fell a tree or to delimb the tree. Beautiful little axe, but it was not designed for splitting, even though it will split. Let's have a look at the opposite. Here we've got another axe, the extreme opposite really. Again, similar length handle, yeah, a reasonable edge for splitting, but look at the profile on that. It is absolutely designed to split wood and do nothing else. Okay, the next thing is the weight. The 2 axes we've looked at are probably about 4 pound, and then we can go up. Here's a beauty, what's that? That's 5.5 pound. Again, reasonable handle. 5.5 pound, but again, look at the profile. The profile is really narrow. This was designed to cut wood, it wasn't designed to split wood. And there's a bit of a proof with this, and we can see this with several of the axes. This is, as I say, everything here has been used to split wood, but they've got stuck. The back of that axe, if you can see that, the back of that axe has been whacked. That's a very bad thing to do. It opens the eye, you're hitting metal on metal, so a burr could come off. I worked with 2 people who were blinded by metal on metal strikes. Anyway, well, they were only blinded in one eye, but nevertheless, losing one eye is not a good thing. So again, beautiful axe, been used, but the back has been whacked. That will open the eye. In fact, there's a crack, look at that. It's caused a crack in the laminate. You've got a small crack in the laminate there, and it's my opinion that that was done by someone hitting the back, not caring for their axe. Now I've got some beauties here. look at this monster. It's an old Forestry Commission axe, which is the British government's axe, but I wanted to show you this one. Again, look at that profile. This is a felling axe. It's not a splitting axe. Of course it would split wood. It is 7 pounds. A 7-pound axe with that fantastic profile. Now, when I was a forestry student, when I was 16 to 18, I spent 2 years on a woodman's course, and we used 4-pound axes to fell trees. And I remember the 3 trainers, there were 12 students and 3 trainers, which was brilliant. But these 3 old woodsmen teaching us said if we ever grew up to be real men, we would use a 7-pound axe. Now, I have to say, I don't consider myself a complete wimp, but never in my life have I worked with a 7-pound axe. And I absolutely bow to and respect the men and women who did. Anyway, let me show you this one. I think this is a collector's piece. This is really special. Let me bring this one up and show you. Can you see? Oh, I can't read it now, but anyway, it's Cornelius. It's something like White and Cornelius. It's the hedgehog, and it was made in Exeter. So it's a beautiful £7 hedgehog Cornelius. Hang on, let me just read this. It's solid steel, Cornelius White and Sons, trademark hedgehog, Clark of Exeter, and £7. What a beauty. This is one of my friend Ben's axes, and I hope it goes to a collector eventually, because it's a gorgeous, that's an antique. So what's happened with this one? To start with, then if I show you the back, I'll show you the profile. The profile isn't too bad for splitting. It's not great, but it's not a pure felling axe. So the profile's not too bad, but the person using it has got it stuck. He's whacked the back with a hammer. That's caused the eye to widen, which has caused the handle to come loose. I don't know if you can see, there's a shadow of where it should be. The head has come away from the handle a bit. You can actually see daylight down the back. I don't know if you can see that, but in there's a big gap. But anyway, he's whacked I say he, probably a he, has whacked any old nail and bits of wood in there to try and make the handle, to make the head tight. And then every time the head's felt a bit loose, he's whacked the axe on the ground, sort of done that. And it's just atrocious. This is a beautiful handle, probably hickory, polished, probably original. And the mistreatment that this axe had is sort of shocking. So, what's next? Let's have a look at this one. This again is my friend Ben's, and he's got a guard on it. And that's in many ways all the clue you need. So, what a little darling this is. Look at that. Beautiful profile. Ooh, I'll tell you what though, we've got that shadow again. If I can show it. The head has moved. Now Ben was a craftsman. Yeah, look at it there. Hold that steady. The head is, I don't know, what's that? Almost half an inch unseated. And sure enough, there's the gap at the top. Ben was a craftsman, so I would think he would have fixed that. But there's another problem with this. It's ideal as a little bushcraft axe, but look at the profile. Beautiful, long, thin profile. Ben would not have used this for splitting wood, and look at that. He's dead now, but I hope he's chuckling in his grave. The back of that has never been hit once. That's proper woodcraft. This is an Elwell, I see, if that comes in focus and shows. So here, lovely little axe. Ben's general purpose axe for delimbing, actually cutting wood, not splitting wood. There is a problem here which isn't his fault. Again, I don't know if it'll show, but there's woodworm in the handle. Now, this axe, I couldn't quite shave with it, but not far off. This is razor sharp, as a cutting axe should be. But I wouldn't want to be swinging this about and then suddenly have the handles snap on me because of the woodworm. So, yeah. If you have an axe like that, I would say don't use it for splitting and make sure your handle's safe. The caveat to all of this is I'm talking about chopping wood at home, splitting logs at home. If you're out camping or something, then you probably do need to use a compromise axe like this one. Handle not too long, and it's got to do everything. It's got to cut, it's got to split, and it maybe even has to do a bit of carving. But in this video, we're talking about splitting. So, let's look at the next thing. Me, you, the person who's going to use the axes. Okay, we've looked at the axes fairly carefully. So now it's the person. You're choosing an axe to fit you, like you choose a pair of boots or a golf club. I've never played golf, but you choose something that fits you, and an axe is the same. Now, I'm 6 foot with my boots on, medium strength. So then we look at my technique. My technique is to swing the axe fast. I think it's Newton's second law of motion that if, let's get this right, if you double the speed, you quadruple the impact. And I think that's the whole reason that we have an axe head on a fairly long stick, so you can build up a high speed. However, if you use a short handle with a heavy head, fair enough. And if you do the technique where you whack the log and flick the axe sideways at the last second, fair enough. But we've now looked at the axes, we've now looked at you, how big and strong you are, and we're now looking at what axe suits you and your technique. Now, either of these, the neglected axe, which I feel really bad about, I will give that some care, or this Fisker's axe, they both work for me. That's a 4-pound head, and in all honesty, I wish it was a little heavier. It's just too light for the job I want it to do. I love the axe, but if that was 4.5 pound, I'd be so much happier. This is a 5-pound axe, not really got the splitting profile I want, but it would do. The weight is about right, the profile's not too bad, the handle length is perfect for me. So that's it. Me, the handle, the axe weight, and my technique. We've thought about all of that. The firewood I get comes from all over the place. As it happens, this is a pile of Norway maple. That log up on the top there looks like it's going to be a bit tricky, but still nothing compared to a bit of tough elm or tough oak. Most of this would just split like carrots. Any old axe would split this. But over the year, I get all sorts of wood, so I can't just work with a light axe. Sometimes I have to use a maul. So, that's it really. Choosing a splitting axe. Choose one with a profile, a weight, and an axe handle length that suits you, your height, your strength and everything. Don't use any old axe. Use one that's designed for the job. And I'd say enjoy it. Splitting wood is great. It's my gym, my exercise. I like getting better, more accurate. Being able to read a log, knowing where to hit it. I love all that stuff. I also split all my wood green. I should have said that earlier. That makes it easier. But yeah, so this darling, I never thought I'd go to a composite. I love the wooden handles, but a young guy, Louis, who uses one of these a lot, advised me to get one. I got one. I love it. I've used it for 4 years now. It has never once been stuck, and that is a big deal. I could actually do a video on how to get an axe head out of a stuck log. And then this maul, I use that for maybe the 5% of my wood, which is really tough. So, get an axe that suits you, learn to use it, and enjoy every minute of it, and stay safe. Thanks for watching.